If you thought Feng Shui was only for your home, we have a surprise for you. Yes, we do. The green room, where guests for Showcase Minnesota wait before they come on, has been given a makeover. Yes, it has. Feng Shui expert Carole Hyder is here with the amazing before and after photos. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, Rob.
And thank goodness that... Well, tell me about, were you just tired of sitting in there and as a Feng Shui expert just said, this has got to change? How did this all come about?
Well, kind of. You know, I sit in there a fair amount. And, it was functional. I mean,
Right.
It wasn't like it was just horrible, but it was just functional. And it wasn't real pleasant. It wasn't welcoming. I mean, this is a hodgepodge kind of thing.
Hodgepodge, in the world of Feng Shui, hodgepodge bad?
Yes, that would be bad.
Okay,
Yeah.
it was, and you're right. Well, we've got a before and after,
Yeah.
and we could go through and just talk about, where do you start with a room?
Well,
like we can. Here you are talking to our producer,
Yep.
Christina.
Right.
This was it before.
This was it before. And really, one of the things you have to do first is decide what's the point. What are you doing? Otherwise, you're just moving things around. And so we looked at what was happening there, and I wanted to hear from her, what did she want to have happen here? And some buzzwords she gave me were professional, relaxing, welcoming, and it was just sort of lackluster, and it didn't have a lot going for it.
Well, she's right on the money there, because I think a lot of people that come on the show, maybe it's their first time on television,
Yeah,
and
right.
the anxiety level is high anyway,
Yes,
so
it
you
is.
need a room that's calming.
Very calming, right. And we discussed color. I mean, this is a work in progress, because, I was only here a week ago, and so a lot got done. And at this point, we've not spent one dime. But what we did was we really looked at how does the energy flow, how do you move through the room?
Right.
Where do people sit in relation to the door? What is all these extraneous things? I mean, it became a catch-all.
Absolutely. Well, let's see. Are you happy with the way it's turned out here? Here's the rearrange.
Yeah, so we started moving. I mean, the coat rack was right by the door.
Yes.
You walk in and boom, you hit the coat rack. And so we started to move that way, away, give it some space. Some of this was, let's try it there, let's move it, let's try it there, let's move it, let's see how this looks, let's move it. We brought in a green plant to bring in some little nature, because there's no windows here. They have some things that they've yet to hang on the walls. And so one of the things we ended up doing at the end is we put a little coffee table in the center to kind of anchor it. Just to kind of like shift some things going on in there.
Yeah,
and the color is still yet to be determined.
And here's the after. Now, are you happy? Were you happy in there today before you came out?
Yeah, well, it was better. Certainly
felt
was
better?
right. And there's some sort of leftover things. There's a cityscape that's old and outdated, and it's covering up a window opening to another room. So there's discussions about what can we do there. There's the color.
Yeah,
which
let's talk about the color. A green room doesn't have to be green, does it?
Well, not that green, because it's sort of an institutional green, and it's not flattering.
Right.
It's not flattering to your face. So we talked about colors that might be more inducive to skin tones, where you would go in there and you'd look good to begin with.
Well, and I guess the whole, we're talking about our green room here at the station, but the whole gist of this segment is you can use these methods that you're talking about and these tips at home, in your own home.
And we all have a space that sort of gets left out.
Yes.
Like the rec room.
Yep.
Or, or there's that spare room, and it's just like, well, just put it in there. Well, let's just store the boxes in there. And that's what was happening in the green room. The one room that once you get past the front desk, people see.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And it should be, present itself in a better
And
light.
as we mentioned, every one of our guests has to sit in there, and we don't want them being agitated before they come out.
No.
That can be very painful television.
Well, yes, it could be. Make your job a lot harder.
Well, you seem so much more pleasant this time around.
Really?
I think that green room worked wonders.
Wait till a new color comes.
Carole, thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, when that new color comes in, I can't wait to see. I hope I get that segment next time, too. I lucked out this time. For more great Feng Shui ideas, check out Carole Hyder's website. We've created a link to it at showcaseminnesota.com. Just click on View Past Shows.